Good morning, everybody. This is Diane. I just want to have a little crafty chat today while I select pages that will go in these ledger journals, which I showed in a video yesterday. So I have, if I can turn this, stack of ledgers and papers there to pull pages from. So I've already started pulling, and then I thought I should take this opportunity to have a chat because I had a couple, or at least one thing I wanted to talk about. First of all, let me just tell you, today is Thursday, December, is it 16th, 17th? And if you saw on the news that the east part of the United States was going to have a winter storm. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Wednesday and Thursday. Well, we got it. And in my area, we have 32 to 38 or even higher inches. I got about 38, I believe, here. And I can't even open my front door. I don't have a porch. I just have a very small landing, like a little deck. It's big enough for a couple chairs without much room around them. So I don't have any porch or awning over my door, and so the snow just piled up there. And I opened my front door to see what it looked like this morning, and I was greeted by, I had my storm door there, and the snow is so high right up against the door that I can't even open the door. This is a very fragile piece. I think somebody sent this to me. It's got some writing on the back, and it's another language. It's math. Wow. But this side is a really cool ledger. I'm going to try to do something with that. It won't be a page, but I'm going to set it aside as some sort of maybe embellishment. I'm pulling out about 4 pages for each kind of journal that I have because I have 2 journals, and that would give me 2 of each page for each journal, but I have so many different kinds I probably won't need that many. This is it's not ledger paper, but it came from a really vintage notebook from Albany College of Pharmacy. I think that's really cool, and the paper is really neat. So I want to put some of that in. All of these old kind of papers that I want to have, I want a sample of them. I'm keeping them in my journal. So what was I saying? Oh, so I feel trapped, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm stocked up on groceries, and I don't need to go anywhere. I went to the post office yesterday morning, made sure all my orders were sent. I got one small order last night, but that can wait. I think I don't have to ship that till Monday. But I mean, even if I had to ship it today, I wouldn't be able to. So it's just a stay-at-home winter day today. So I'm going to work on these journals and make some cookies and wrap some Christmas presents, I think. And then maybe later this evening I'll make myself some hot chocolate. Speaking of making cookies, I planned on having my grandson, my oldest grandson, who is 14, and his friend, the young lady that I had been doing Bible studies with, they were going to come and help me make cookies, give them a chance to hang out because they really haven't had much time to be with friends. They're both schooled at home, and Adam was quarantined for a long time. So they were going to come and help me make cookies. I'm trying to find the center where the thread is here. And then his friend texted me yesterday and said she was exposed to someone who was diagnosed with COVID. So she has to stay away from people for a little while. Where is that thread? this is the center, but okay, there it is. I found the thread. I'm just going to fold the book back so I can get to the threads better and snip them. So she couldn't come and make cookies, but the plan was I was going to make cookies with them yesterday. We were going to make chocolate crinkles, and then today, my 2 younger grandchildren, I was going to go get them and after school, and we would decorate the sugar cookies that I already have cut out and baked, and they're in the freezer now where they were. We were going to decorate them. But since Zoe couldn't come, I decided to get Adam and his brother, and we did cookies last night, or yesterday. But it had started snowing. It was about 1:30, I think, when I went to get them, and it had started snowing less than an hour before I went to get them. There wasn't much snow out there, but I could not believe how slippery the roads were. I only had to drive across town. We have a lot of uphills and downhills here. We live in the endless mountain region, but my town is, my area has a lot of hills and inclines on the roads and stuff. So anyway, I love this paper with this at the top, and I'm so glad I'm going to preserve some in this journal. I don't have much of that, so I'm just going to put one in each journal. So, oh my goodness, if I had known how bad the roads were, I wouldn't have gone out to get them, but once I was out there, I just went and got them. And we made it home. I didn't know. I have to go up a hill, an incline, to get back to my house. And I did not know if my car was going to make it up that hill. It didn't want to. But we did. We got there. I was like, okay, boys, say a prayer. And we got there. And we made cookies, and we had a good time. And the cookies are back in the freezer. The Christmas cookies that we frosted and decorated are back in the freezer. And then we made the chocolate crinkles, and I sent some home. Their mother stopped to get them on her way home from work. So they got to take cookies home with them. I guess that's the same book. And I put the rest in the freezer so we can have them on Christmas Eve. So I guess I won't get to have Zoe come over till after Christmas. But we'll have another cookie making day. It doesn't have to be Christmas cookies. She was really disappointed to have to miss it. But what I wanted to talk to you about is ads and my YouTube channel. Yesterday, this is back to doing this. Yesterday, when I was showing you some of these ledger papers, I talked about my favorite paper that I didn't even know if I had any left. And this is the blue, or the pink, blue, and purple. That's my favorite. So I'm glad I have. There's quite a bit here. I'm glad I still have that. I'll put some of that in. So, a while ago, YouTube did this thing where you could, they were just going to automatically put mid-roll ads in, as they call them, which means they would be inserted mid-roll during the video. And you could opt out of it if you wanted to. Well, I thought, if they're just going to put an ad in the middle of my video, that's fine. So I did not opt out of it. But it was more than that. It was ridiculous. It was like every 4 or 5 minutes they put an ad in. And people complained about it, which I don't blame them. I do not like to watch videos with lots of ads. Ad interruptions. This is cut. Why isn't it pulling out? Oh, they weren't all snipped. So I went back and took that feature out. I opted out of it. And then my numbers started to drop. Not just revenue, but numbers of views on my videos, on each video, started dropping and dropping and dropping. And it was kind of depressing. And I wondered if, YouTube doesn't promote videos that don't incorporate all of those ads. I do have ads at the beginning and I think at the end of a video, but apparently that's not enough. Now, I don't know that for certain, but it seems to me, and some people told me, some of my subscribers said they have the bell icon clicked and they don't get notifications of my videos, which, you know, if you click the bell, you are supposed to get notifications. That's what the bell is for. But they said they stopped getting the notifications. So that seems kind of fishy to me and upsetting. And the numbers kept dropping. So I thought, well, I'm going to try. So you can change that ad setting for every video. So for a couple of videos, I tried putting the videos back on, or the ads back on, mid-roll ads, and immediately I started getting comments. They were not nasty comments, and I certainly understand. You know, they were just telling me how many ads there were in my videos. And they said YouTube was really getting out of hand. Well, they are. I'm the one that allowed them to put the ads back in, but why can't they just do one or two videos in ads in a video? I think I'm going to put some of this computation paper in, even though it's all written on. It's still pretty cool. I'll just put one in each. So I took the ads back out because I don't want to alienate my faithful viewers. And my numbers went up pretty significantly when I put the ads in, but there's still, like, it's only been a couple days, so it's really hard for me to tell. It may be that people were more interested in the journals, in the videos that I just did about glue books and junky junk journals. So they're a little different from what I normally do, but people, why do I care about that? I don't need to take that apart. This is what I wanted. So I really don't know if it was just because of my content or because of the ads. So I'm not going to have that happen on my videos. I'm not going to have commercials every 4 minutes on my videos. I won't do that. And I also wanted to let you know, and I don't know if you've noticed, but if I do an Etsy update video where all it is me showing you what I've added to my shop, it's pretty much a commercial all on its own. A commercial for my shop. I don't put the ads, any ads on that one. I don't monetize it at all. So you don't have to click through an ad at the beginning of those. Unless it's like a journal. If I'm showing a journal, that's also an advertisement for my shop, but it is a journal flip through, which people like to see, and it's showing my work, my art. So I do put the ads on that one. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know why all of a sudden there were umpteen million videos or ads on my videos. It was because I allowed it to be put there. But I quickly took them off because it's ridiculous. I wish they had an option for you to choose, you know, one video in the middle, I keep saying the wrong word, one ad in the middle of my video. Yes, go ahead and do that. But not every 4 minutes. Why would they think people would want to continue watching a video that is interrupted every 4 minutes? I think they're being very greedy. So I'll be watching my numbers to see if they go back down. But, I mean, I would appreciate any help you can give me as far as leaving a comment, liking the video, and even sharing the video to see if I can get more views. Because this is how my shop and my YouTube channel is how I earn my income. So I kind of need it. And I probably shouldn't say it like that. I don't want you to feel responsible for me, but it upsets me that YouTube does this. This is a really cool book. The Iroquois Science Notebook. So of course my Etsy shop is my main income, but the added revenue from YouTube is nice, But my main reason for making videos is not to make money. It is to connect with the crafting community and to show my art, and mainly to connect with you guys. I really love your comments and interacting with you. I don't always, or even often, comment back, but I read them. I read all the comments and usually respond with a heart or a thumbs up to your comments, and sometimes leave a comment back. So these are amateur radio operator logs, which are really cool. So as you can see, this one was all written in, and this one has some blank pages. So I'll put some of each in. So that's basically what I wanted to talk to you about, was the ads on YouTube. So I did take some of these pages yesterday, but this is the whole book that they came out of. This was in a hardware store. It has some advertising in the front, which is cool. I had individual pages, not a whole folio, so I'm going to take a couple folios. I'll use this. I'm excited to, I think, to get going on these ledger journals. And I think once I just pull out some pages, a lot of pages, and then put the rest away, then I'll be able to focus on what I want to do. Trying to find some that are still connected to each other. Get to the center of this signature. There it is. Right now, like I said, I pulled everything out onto the table that's in my office, and I had stacks of all kinds of these papers, and it's kind of overwhelming. So I'm just going to have a neat pile, and then I can cut them down to whatever size I want them to be and get going on them. This is a really tall one, and I think it's all written on, and it's from I can't remember, but it was, old, 1918 here. And I think the first entry in here was 1916. So I hope you don't mind me talking about the business aspect, sort of YouTube, but I wondered if any other YouTubers have noticed anything like that. If you do or don't use the ads, of course it affects your revenue because you're getting more ad views, and that's how you get the revenue. But is it also because YouTube promotes the channels that use the revenue or the ads? That's my question. So if you have a YouTube channel and you have any experience about that, please share with me. Just curious. This is just a letterhead paper from a courthouse in Towanda, Pennsylvania. That is my county seat here in Bradford County, Pennsylvania. And that's from the 1930s. Now we've got some of the wide ones, but these books are long and narrow. But I still want to preserve some of these, so I'll use some of them. Maybe I'll just put one. Well, I'm going to pull out 4. Whatever I don't want to use, of course, I can put back in my stash. Because I don't think I'll need all of these. The journal would be humongous. Oh, yellow papers. I will use those. They're cool. Oh, these are the tab pages. Those are the ones that are yellow. I think these all came out of that cemetery binder that I got, the ledger binder. Or maybe not. Those are bigger. But I don't know if, I don't think these are from the cemetery. I don't remember now. But anyway, I'm going to put some of these in. Pulled out the H for my last name. I'll put that one in mine. These are cool too. I'll pull them out just in case I want to use them for something. Yeah, this is from the cemetery. This size cemetery. So this is dated 1999. I think it started in the 1980s, but I think the ledger book itself was older because of the style of the binder that it was in. It just didn't seem like it was that new, you know. But what do I know? Here's some more of those tabs. I'll pull out the D so I can have the D and the H. So some of the pages were written on, but most of them were not. Ooh, I hear noise. It's been so quiet here because I don't even think the roads are plowed here, but I hear some kids out there now. Hope they have some sleds. It's funny, everybody on Facebook here is posting pictures of what it looks like out at their house. All I did was post a couple pictures of the snow piled up at my front door because I can't even open the door. That's a really big one. I'm going to save that for a bigger journal. That's cool. I like that page. This came out of some sort of a binder, but it's guest register pages, and that's really cool. I don't remember buying this, so this might have been in a Happy Mail. Oh, and this. Love this. I think this was in a Happy Mail. So this was some kind of a rent, I believe, because it says lessee. Date of lease. Oh, tonnage report for year 19. I don't know what that means. Tons royalty. I don't think it was for rent. You don't usually rent by the ton. This is pretty cool too. Yellow paper. These are going to be really cool journals, aren't they? So if you missed yesterday's video, I said that I'm using one of those covers to make myself a journal, so I have samples of all of these vintage papers so that I feel free to use them in my journals, because right now all I do is hoard them. And that's not exactly true. I do use them, but not like I should. I mean, look at the quantity that I have. I should be using these. So I will feel free to use them once I have samples of them preserved for myself. But then I will use the other journal to make, the other cover, to make a similar journal that I can put in my shop. And in addition to these vintage papers, they will also have samples of my vintage ephemera. Oh, that's stapled shut. My vintage ephemera. Oh, it's got a pin in it. That I purchase at flea markets. So I'm going to have receipts and vintage calling cards and just all the different kinds of vintage ephemera photographs that I find. Oh, that's really cool. So this kind of thing will be included. I love this. dry goods, groceries, drugs, boots, and shoes, hardware and agricultural implements. This book was from a church. It was recording the parishioners' offerings. But these are really cool. I'll make sure some of those get in the books. So it's going to be a treasure trove of vintage stuff. And I'm very excited to make this. And I will share one of them with you. With one of you. Trying to find the middle. Guess. I definitely want some of these pages in the books. Oh, there's the middle. Sometimes you just can't even see the thread. So I'm thinking I might make some Spritz cookies today, or the peanut butter cookies that have the Hershey Kiss in the middle. Because I usually only make 4 kinds of Christmas cookies anymore. I used to make a ton. And I used to try a new recipe. But with my husband gone, and I don't eat that many cookies. I like them on the day they're made, or couple of days, but I don't eat a lot of the cookies. I just stick to our 4 favorites, my family's and my 4 favorites, which are the roll-out sugar cookies. They are not my favorite, but my family can't have Christmas without them. And the chocolate crinkles, which I love, and Spritz, which I love, and the peanut butter Kiss cookies, which I could do without. And I asked my kids, do you want me to make them this year? And they're both like, yeah. So it's only 4 cookies. I believe this whole packet here was sent to me from someone. So I think there's only one. Oh, look at these. They are just so cool. I want to make sure these pages go in my journal, but there's enough to share. I wonder what that means. If you know what that means, tell me. I have it in 2 different fonts, so it's in 2 ledgers. So what does that mean? I love the writing. Look at that. It's really old. I wonder if I can find a year. Number right here says 1485, but I'm pretty sure that's not the year. Oh, here, 1917. That's pretty old. Look at where the staple was. So yeah, I only have 2 more cookies, 2 more kinds to make, the Spritz and the peanut butter ones. So maybe I can get one of them done today. But I also want to wrap gifts and work on some listings. I started sorting. I'm just going to save this whole bundle out. I started working on the vintage gift wrap. I got a box full of gift wrap at a flea market this past summer. And I started cutting that into pieces and sorting it, and now I have to put it into bundles, and you know, it's just a slow process of getting it ready to put in my shop. But I have some other things that are ready. They're not photographed or anything, but I ironed the vintage aprons. I've sorted vintage sewing patterns into bundles. Now I'm doing the gift wrap. So when that's all done, I can get those things listed. So I want to work on that. And I don't know how much of it's going to get done before Christmas, if any of it. I don't know if you guys are interested in, you know, making purchases like that before Christmas. So I'm not really worried about, you know, hurrying to get them in. This pile right here is what I'm setting aside to go in journals. This is from the Farm Expense books that I bought a couple years ago at the flea market. I sold some of the books. They were just little, they were softcover books, like kind of like a composition book, but with a soft, bendable cover. But I saved some, and I apparently don't have any of the books, just a few of the pages. So I might want to save those for farm journals, but I'm going to put them right there. Here's a ledger book. This, I think, was one of my first ones. This might have been one that I purchased from eBay before I started finding them at flea markets. I bought two, I think, from eBay, because I figured I would never find these at a flea market. But I've been surprised. Flea markets and antique malls, I have found quite a few. Some of them have some glue attached at certain points, in addition to the thread. This is a nice, crisp, white paper. It's not as old as some of the others. Can't wait to see what these books look like all put together. I'm almost at the bottom of the pile, so if you have stuck with me this long, thank you. Hopefully you're crafting along while I do this. I like having some that have the writing in them in addition to the plain ones. I don't know if I'll write in mine or if I just want to keep it for you know, just to keep samples of each of the pages. Don't want to make the books too humongous because the covers are pretty big, and if I made them fat, they would just be a little harder to manage. So I don't know how much of these papers will go in. I'm pulling out two, if I can, pull out two of each kind of paper for each journal, but I might end up just putting one. But it's easier to get them all pulled now than to have to go back and get more. I really didn't know that I had this many different types of journal paper, and that's really cool. If I was watching this video of someone else doing this, I'd be like, wow, I'm jealous. But they're mine. So I wonder if I should share some ledger page packs in my shop. What do you think? If I started actually using these pages in the journals that I make, the pile would start to dwindle, wouldn't it? I've only got one book after this, so bear with me. I have to get all this stuff put back away so I have my table space cleared so I can wrap presents in there today. This is Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Highways Township Minute Book. Betty Morrison must have been the secretary. This is a 1952 letter. Oh, Miriam, not Betty Morrison, it's Betty Miriam. Your postal card informing us that your stock was issued incorrectly has been received. This is dated 1952. Here's the center of that signature. If I see ledger books, usually I see them at a good price at a flea market, but if I think they're a little pricey, I think about what I paid or what I would pay for some if I got them on eBay, and it's really not bad if you find them in person, at least here. I think that's 4. Okay, so that's it. But look at this. You think that's enough to make 2 journals? I think it's enough to make more than 2. So this is what I'm going to work with, and once I get all the pages figured out, and I want to have some folds and pockets and things in them where I can insert ephemera without having to add pockets. I'll probably have to add some, but if I can, because these are pretty long, so I'm not going to have very many folded up pages that would form a pocket. I don't think I have pages long enough to do that with. So I'll have to add some pockets in order to add the ephemera. And if I have too many pages in, I can't add too much ephemera because that would make it too bulky. So I'm going to have to strike a balance here and get what I want. You know what? Maybe I'll have to keep both for myself so I can have all the pages and all the ephemera. I won't do that. This is the one I'm going to keep. I love that cover. So I hope that this has intrigued you and not bored you out of your mind. I hope you're still with me, and I hope that you are very anxious to see how this journal comes together, and I especially hope that you're interested to see what kind of ephemera I'm going to put in, because I want you to stick with me and watch the whole process. Thanks so much for watching today, and I will be getting busy on these pretty soon. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.